hope y'all are doing great today. We here in South Carolina are about a week past our last average frost, but the next 2 nights are showing me temperatures around 42 degrees. And because my garden sits at a low point on our property, the cold air tends to accumulate there. So I can get a frost at around 38 or 39 degrees. So I'm holding off on planting some of my more frost tender crops like my tomatoes and peppers. I won't put those out for a little while longer yet. But today I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to direct seed some beans and some cowpeas and maybe some corn if the rain holds off for me. I'm just prepping this bed like I normally do, weeding, and then I'll come back through with my rake. I'm gonna be planting some cowpeas here called Ozark Razorback cowpeas from Baker Creek. This crop is a fail-safe for me. It does not mind about drought, it loves the sun, and I've never had any pest pressure on it, so I will always grow these in my garden. So I'm gonna be using this to plant my cowpeas and my beans as well as my corn. This is an Earthway seeder. Now, if I were to plant this row by taking each seed and placing it in a hole and just kind of pressing it in and then covering back up, it would take me a long time. This literally cuts the time down to almost nothing. I can get 3 passes on a 70-foot row in about 2 minutes. So it's a very fast, easy, efficient way to plant your crops. So if you have a garden where you have long rows, I highly suggest getting this. It's pretty affordable. I think I picked this up for right around $100 from Northern Tool. There is a more precision seeder called the Jang seeder, but I think that runs around 500 bucks. So I went ahead with the Earthway seeder since it was cheaper and it does the job just fine for me. As you walk it down the row, it actually creates a little furrow. It drops the seed in, and then there's a chain back here, and that chain, as it drags, actually closes up the hole and covers your seed. So it's all done in one simple step. It does come with a variety of different seeding plates. So for instance, you know, if you have beans or small peas, radishes, leeks, asparagus, spinach, this one is for your big peas. Let's see. There's also, here's your corn, as well as a disc for carrots, lettuce, turnips, endive, cabbage, onions, tomatoes, and other smaller seeds. So you just basically go off of the size of your seed, and if it's comparable to what's listed on the disc, that's the one you're going to choose. And you simply just put the discs in. It's very simple. So here's a disc. There's a small little white wheel in here, and you just simply take this disc and place the white wheel in the center here. Just kind of get it in there, and then you just turn your disc backwards and it locks it on. Really easy. And then you go ahead and fill the hopper up with your seeds, and then you're ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna do my row of beans. So I've got the bean plate. It literally says beans right on it, so very simple. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here and get that locked on. So now I'm just gonna put my beans in. I'm using Blue Lake 274 bush beans. When I used to do the pole beans, one, not only do you have to trellis those, but two, I would always get a lot of pest pressure from the Japanese beetles. When I've done the bush beans the past 2 years, I have not had any pressure from pests on this whatsoever. So I always do the bush beans. I never do the pole beans anymore. In this 30-inch bed, I'm gonna do 3 rows, so I'll end up with 210 feet of green beans here, and that will be enough for us for an entire year of eating. So I just spent about 2 hours prepping these last 4 rows. I'm gonna plant my sweet corn here. All I did was just weed, and then I went through with my rake and got out a lot of the residue from the corn last year. A lot of people do crop rotations, and I think that that's great. I'm gonna plant my corn in the same place again this year because I've had that herbicide issue and all of the water in this garden trickles down, and I feel like these bottom rows are my most affected still by the herbicide. And since corn is a grass crop, it's not affected by that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do probably 9 rows of corn. I'll do 3 in that first bed since that's a 48-inch row, and then I'll do 2, 2, and 2 to give me a total of 9 rows of sweet corn. So you guys can see that I was able to get in 9 rows of corn in about 5 minutes with that Earthway seeder. So it is a super effective, efficient tool. It is one of the best tools that I would not be able to live without in a garden like this. Now, if you guys have long rows in your garden or have really long raised beds, I highly suggest getting that. It's gonna make your life a heck of a lot easier and save you hours in the spring and fall when you're planting things. It's relatively inexpensive, and I got that one at Northern Tools, so you guys might be able to find it there. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I hope you guys are getting your gardens in too.